Hello, hello, hello. The purpose of this talk is to explain perhaps something that was never explained before. In Kabbalah, it teaches that in the year 1840, remember this was predicted about, I would say, 1200 years beforehand, God will open the floodgates of wisdom of above and below, and they will converge in anticipation of the Messianic era. The wisdom of above is Jewish mysticism. The wisdom of below is science, physics, and technology, its offspring. Now, the physics universe, particularly those who study it, understand that this world cannot be determined. And that is, of course, Heisenberg's principle of uncertainty. Everybody always thought, like Newtonian science, that you could map out the universe. It turns out that time is infinite, because what time really is the moments between the universe popping in and out of existence, because time is past, present, and future. And just to give you an example, a physicist told me that the rate of that speed is, if you wanted to give an example so our minds could understand, imagine if every time the universe popped in and out of existence, it went 1 millimeter. So it went like that. So in 1 second, just from going like this each time, would have traveled the known distance of the universe 10 times. Now that process is happening infinitely, and there are so many other speeds. The rate of the moon going around Earth, everything is turning. All those things are happening infinitely. So whoever made this universe has infinite ability to consistently make time in multiple forms and multiple functions. The next thing that's critical to understand is space. What is space? It's where we are right now. But we know that the universe, and this is 10 years of Hubble Space Telescope, came for this equation, 10 years. The rate of the expansion of the universe is at the outside of the universe, it goes 10 times as fast. So it's like a bubble that expands at its outer edges 10 times as fast. That's what's happening to space. So space and time are infinite. So then we have to ask ourselves the question, who are we? And the answer, of course, is we are consciousness. And then the next question is our consciousness infinite? And the answer, of course, is yes, it is, because our consciousness is attached to the superconsciousness, God. And God, of course, is infinite. Certainly, if he could do all this infinity, he is infinite. So that means your consciousness, even though you're not conscious of what you're attached to, like in the Matrix, but you are still infinite. So now you have to ask yourself a final question. And this is what Einstein discovered. And this is very, very profound, because only in Jewish mysticism, and I've studied many different philosophies, and I have a friend, she's a doctor who's a Buddhist, and only in Jewish mysticism is this knowledge revealed. So, of course, Einstein said, when they asked him for the theory of relativity, he said, it's when you're sitting on a hot stove, a minute feels like an hour. And when you're having a nice conversation, an hour feels like a minute. In other words, he was saying that time is experiences. You are experiencing time. Now, before we gave another category of time, which is absolute. But what he was saying is that our perception of time, your perception of time, is a relative perception, which is true. Because you can think of times that you had very kind of vivid positive, vivid negative experiences, times of sleep, times of prayer. All those experiences were in time, yet they felt so very different. But what we're going to tell you now is an infinite story within the story. And this is the key. Because just like quantum physics creates a world in which it seems limited, yet it is not, so too the experiences you have, relative time, Einstein's version of time, seems limited, but it actually isn't. Because all of those experiences that you have, they also were preordained. So if you are, another way of saying consciousness is a perceiver and a feeler of reality, so all the things that happen to you are designed. And that means you will always perceive and feel reality because the creator of your perceptions and feelings through the experiences that you experience, and those experiences themselves can cause you to make choices, but you actually make the choice, and that's how you know freedom of choice works with free choice, because the creator is infinite, and therefore the key thing in life is, instead of trying to hold on to your reality, hold on to the lesson. What does this teach me in my infinite journey with God?